I'm sure that when you are in ELKEN, the health and wealth is always with you. And of course, it's like we have a training sessions every month to share with you the knowledges and like what's so amazing about our products in ELKEN. Like why we are always proud with ELKEN products. So today, definitely, if you have attended my last session, it was about hydrogen inhaler. And today we are going to talk about water. So, as all of us, we understand that water is life and water form life. Yes, we drink water every day. So, for that, no doubt, everyone knows this. But the thing is, like, we have to really put a different concern right now because the environment has changed. Now, the entire development of the society has been changed. There are something has been coming into our life without you realizing. Remember here, I'm saying that without you realizing that actually it is trying to damage your life and your health silently. Just that you never realize. So, but what is the channel of these so-called the damaged items that are entering our life? Basically, this is the main topic that we're going to share today. So, if you have seen the title of my PPT, definitely you have know that what we're going to discuss today. Whether you have heard about these terms, micro or nanoplastic, if this is new for you, never mind. Okay, just empty yourself and let's learn together. Uh what's so horrible about this microplastic? If you heard about that before, and today is also a session for us to go in depth how this thing truly damaging our life. Okay, so let's see our first topic. How threatening is plastic water? Okay, or the plastic waste? As you understand, nowadays we almost can't live without plastic. Tell me, okay, just look at around you. Just count how many plastic items that you are seeing right now at your home. Okay, some of you, the very first thing is like you are using the phone right now, right? So what's the material to make your phone? Plastic, part of it, a big part of it, plastic. Am I right? So and also look at the container that we use to load our food and also the water. Okay, so what it is made by plastic bottle, plastic container. Am I right? And so when we look at it, it's like when you are using the plastic every day, and I'm sure that you dispose many plastic as well. For example, if you go to the shop to get something, so the shopper, okay, they will give you a plastic bag for you to load your belongings, what you have bought. But when you reach home, where does this plastic bag goes? Okay, so some of you, you might be very environmental friendly. You're going to reuse it. Okay, so you're going to wash it, you're going to keep it, and then you're going to use it again. But most of the time, actually, we are just simply dispose it. You just throw it in the dustbin. That's all. Am I right? So just imagine every day how much plastic actually we have been disposed globally, not just only in Nigeria, but we are speaking of globally. It's a very terrible and horrible numbers. Actually, you can see there are 1.1 million tons. Okay, how many? How much is 1 tons? 1 ton is 1,000 kg. Okay, one ton is 1,000 kilogram, and this is at 1.1 million tons has been disposed. The plastic has been disposed globally, and where this plastic goes, you know that, okay? You thought that all the plastic has been just gone into your dustbin, your trash, but in fact, the cycle never ends at the trash. Okay, so if you imagine that 1.1 million tons equals to what? Okay, equals to the weight of 2,400 Boeing aircraft. Okay, so you just imagine that 2,400 Boeing aircraft, similar to the numbers of the weight of the aircraft, 2,400. has been disposed every day. Well, the things won't just disappear. It will be still staying there. But you thought that it just been buried? No, no, no. Okay. Actually, as I mentioned, there's a vicious cycle. There's a vicious cycle. What do we call the vicious cycle? Actually, some of this plastic has been entered into our food chain and our life chain and your body silently. Okay, so this is something that you might not realize it, but actually it's happening every day. That without you realize and without understanding how much damage this plastic can really do to your body. Okay, so what is the plastic waste? Okay, in the very simple words, let's see. The plastic waste is the plastic that man-made material that it decompose very, very slow in nature. Okay, so let's see. If you drink, okay, if you drink and you will use the straw, but can you imagine every single piece of the straw? It required at least 200 years to decompose. What does that mean? It means that even like for example, if all of us will live to 60 to 80, it will require at least 3 generations. You, your child, your grandchild, even when your grandchild is getting old, the plastic is still staying nicely, okay, here and there. So you can understand that the decomposition period, the duration, it takes very, very long time. Okay. And decomposition doesn't mean end of the cycle. Why? Decompose means it only breaks down into a smaller pieces. It never disappeared. Because some people they might thought that, oh, okay, the plastic decompose means that it has been vanished. It's gone. It disappeared, no longer existing in this world. No, no, no. That's a wrong idea. When we say decompose, just that is a process of from a bigger particles, it breaks down into a smaller particles. That's it. So it never disappeared. And it means that this thing still stay together with us. And the only thing matter is whether it goes into our life cycle. Okay, so let's see. When the plastic decomposes into the smallest size of 1 micron, okay, it can easily enter into our water supply source and our living space, from the air to the product that we consume and use every day. For example, the very simple one, every day you drink. If you do not have a BioPure or you do not have a Hydromi, what water you are drinking? Probably from the tap, okay, probably from the borehole, but mostly you will get some drinking water, which is the bottled water. So once again, tell me, what is the container that contains the water? Is that plastic? Definitely, yes, it's plastic. So this plastic will be decomposed into a smaller size and it is not melted, but it just mixed into the water. Just as the size of the molecule or the particle is way too small that you cannot see it with your flash eye. So, but it doesn't mean it's not there. So actually, this is how this plastic waste. Now, in the past, we have a microplastic, which means the size of micron. But actually, recently, throughout the research and study, the scientists has been found out the plastic no longer just into micron size, but it has been decomposed to a smaller size, which is the nano size. If you cannot capture micron, what about nano? It's even worse. Am I right? So these are the things that we really need to take concern into our life. So you are drinking water. Yes, you are maintaining your healthy life, but are you choosing the right water for you and your family? That's a matter, or that's the topic that we're going to discuss for today. So, how damaging is the microplastic or nanoplastic? So, microplastic is so small, and once they enter your body, no matter you breathe in, inhaling, okay, or you intake it in the form of food or drinks, they can reach into the body cell and even into our brain. So if you attended my classes previously, you always know that there's a joke that I always use, okay, as a metaphor. So we understand there is Iron Man, there's a Batman, but all of us, we're going to mutate ourselves into Plastic Man. And this is true because like we every day, we are getting the nanoplastic or microplastic into our body every day. And because of the particle is too small, that actually our body are having difficult to to dispose it, to dispose it or to get rid out of our system. So it stays in our body. And even there are many articles recently, they have reviewed that the micro and nanoplastic breach the blood-brain barriers. Basically, the blood-brain barrier is the membrane, okay? The membrane that protect our brain. So that many kinds of chemicals, many kinds of particles, it cannot penetrate and enter our brain blood system. So that is a protection. But right now, the scientists has found out this microplastic and nanoplastic actually they breach, which means they penetrate the blood-brain barrier. One of the smartest tissue in our body cannot stop this micro and nanoplastic to enter into our brain. Wow, this is scary. Definitely scary. So do not underestimate the damage of this microplastic. And this microplastic stay in our cells and organs and indefinitely. There are some portion may be excreted, but not guaranteed. Why? As I mentioned, the particle is too small. It can be accumulated here and there in our body. And what is the final consequence? Let's discuss about it. So you can see there are the Harvard Health Publishing, which means the Harvard Medical School, they have done a lot of studies to understand how much, okay, heart attack, stroke, and death are related to cardiovascular matters or issue are related to microplastic or nanoplastic in their plaque than those without. So basically, they have found that for those who are having cardiovascular and cerebrovascular issue, including the heart attack, the strokes, and those who are death, actually in their body, they are having 4.5 times higher of the microplastic in their body compared to the normal one, which means more than half of the population who are having this problem, this issue, actually, their body damages or their diseases are caused by microplastic or nanoplastic. And not just that, there have been found out that some neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer and Parkinson's, there have been found that many tiny particles actually trigger the inflammation and disrupt the blood-brain barriers, and which is generating the oxidative stress to cause this kind of diseases to them. And not just that, okay? And we love our baby because they are the crystal, they are the diamonds of us, okay? They are the apples in our eyes. But we're always trying to give the best to our children. Yet, have you truly secured your baby from the damage of this microplastic? Let's see. The studies have been shown that the presence of microplastic in various aspects in life, including breast milk. Yeah, breast milk is the best nutrients substance that you are feeding to your baby. The best part of mother to the baby. Yes, right now, they found that the microplastic is in the mother milk. So when you're breastfeeding your baby, actually, you are also passing the microplastic and the nanoplastic to your baby. When you are trying to give the best to the baby, yet without you realizing, actually, you are passing something that which might be cause a bad damage to their body, to the baby, which is an unwanted situation. And not just that, even in the baby clothes, in the toys, in the milk formulas, there are much more that actually our daily life items has been contaminated by the micro and nanoplastic. So in conclusion, So if all of you, for those who have attended my classes previously, we always mention something, free radical. And today we are talking a big portion about microplastic and nanoplastic. What is the interrelationship between microplastic and free radical? Actually, the science has been proven that they are interrelated between micro and nanoplastic with free radical. And what's happened? So the scientists have found that there are many organisms in the induction of the oxidative stress, including their lipid peroxidations, their DNA damage, their destructions of their morphologies, and the function of their mitochondria, and increase the cellular inflammations and apoptosis. So basically, what does this sentence mean? Just by reading this sentence, you might not get what exactly the meaning of it. But in a simple way, I just explain it in a very simple way that everyone can understand, which is microplastic and nanoplastic. Actually, it can both generate and interact with free radicals. What does it mean? It means that when you have more microplastic or nanoplastic in your body, actually the microplastic will mix your body, will stimulate your body to generate more free radical. Okay, so it's a stimulator. And at the same time, microplastic it itself is an unstable substance. So with this unstable substance means that it can also play as the role as the free radical. It can interact with the free radical to make the situation worse. This is exactly what, okay, the microplastic and the nanoplastic do and how it interrelated with our free radical. Okay, yes. So basically, beside from this, let's see. The free radical oxidation, which is in another terms that we are calling it is the oxidative stress. This oxidation is a natural chemical process in our body. But through the studies and the research, the scientists have been found that it actually links to more than 170 diseases, okay, including to every different parts of your body. The brain, the liver, the kidneys, the skins, multiple organs, lungs, immune system, blood vessel, eyes, and joints. So all this actually has been impacted. And when they try to find the root cause of these diseases, they just found it actually is not as complicated as we thought. Basically, it's just caused by one main reason, the free radical. The free radical cause the oxidative stress level increasing in our body, which cause to the internal inflammation. So, and where do we get all these free radicals? Besides that, as I'm always mentioned, our body actually reproduce free radical every day. It's essential. You cannot avoid it as long as you are alive because it's part of our life cycle and it's part of our body's mechanism. But why in the past the free radical level is not as high as current or the present? Because that the environment has changed. So let's look at it. Are you exposed to UV light? Yes, because you walk under the suns and you are getting more sunshine. But there is a UV, ultraviolet, actually that stimulate your body to generate or to produce more free radical. And of course, unhealthy diet, the stress, if you are someone is like drinking or smoking, and the entire environment has been polluted. We are living in a polluted or contaminated environment, which actually, like what we mentioned just now, through the cycles of the plastic, actually, you thought you dispose it, you thought you already throw it away, but in somehow, they just sneak in back to your life cycle again without you realizing it. Okay, so what we need to do is that we need to neutralize all these free radicals so that to avoid the cell damage from this oxidative stress. So what can we do? There are lots of free radical, and at the same time, there are a lots of antioxidant. So I'm sure that you have heard about antioxidant, right? So where do you get this? From our fruit and vegetables, which means food. So, for example, we know that the oranges, the apples, they are rich in vitamin A, C, E, beta-carotene, and etc. All these are very strong antioxidant. Okay, they works in our body to neutralize the free radical. Yet, No matter it's vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, does they play full role of antioxidant? Means that can they handle all kinds of free radical? In fact, not really. So we actually have lots of antioxidant in the world. So including, for example, what we mentioned, vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin E, and we have coenzyme, we have glutathione, we have shadashin, and what is the strongest one? Among all these antioxidant, which one is the top? Okay, number one. Actually, when you look at the size, okay, you look at the size, every single numbers that you are seeing in this antioxidant, basically it means their size of the molecule. So tell me, which is the smallest one? So you can see coenzyme in these examples, coenzyme has the bigger size, okay, the bigger size of 863. So who are the next one? The second largest one is vitamin E, 431, and followed by glutathione, shadashin, and vitamin C. So, but have you found that there's a very significant small item set in the list, which is the molecular hydrogen? Yes, it's only two. So basically, two, molecular hydrogen is the smallest antioxidant in the world, in the universe. So what does it mean? The small really means that it's strong in size? Yes, it is. Why? Because when the size is so small, actually it can penetrate to your entire body without any obstacles and barrier. So compared to coenzyme, compared to vitamin E, compared to the others antioxidant substance, they have their limitation to enter some part of your body. But when it comes to the molecular hydrogen, it's the smallest. So it can goes into your body everywhere in your body without barrier and obstacles. So which means that it can truly works at your entire body. Okay, and has been proven that it effectively penetrates to the organs and cell membrane. So it's not just only react outside the cell, but actually molecule hydrogen, it works as the antioxidant even inside the cell. Okay, it's an intercell antioxidant. So when you look at the antioxidant list, which are the strongest one? Definitely the smallest, sometimes better. But when we talk about molecular hydrogen, definitely molecular hydrogen, it works the best, okay, as the antioxidant in our body. And it's not claims by me, like from me, Sean, or from Onoha or from anyone else. But what we're sharing right now, this all information that we are sharing right now, actually is based on the studies, the science research and study from many scientists. There have been do a lot of follow-up studies and research on how hydrogen can truly works on improving humans' life. So all this, you can see that the first publication of how hydrogen works in our body, it started from 1798. Until date, there are more than 1,600 articles and the scientific study has been published. And there are more than 750 science publication. And of course, most important is clinical, because what we're trying to talk here, what we're trying to show is not only theoretical approved, but most important is clinical approved. Clinical approved means they have been tested on human body to make sure that it really works. It's not just only on paper, that it's not a hypothesis, but it has been proven clinically. This is the most important part. So that's why we always say that when we share hydrogen and hydromi, we are not talking about magic, but we are talking about science, which no matter where you go, you stand strong, because science is science. It has been proven. It's not about, the claims that you can simply state, but actually it has been proven. That's the most important part. So when we talk about antioxidant, now, what is the preferred antioxidant? As we mentioned, there are vitamin C, vitamin A, and others are glutathione and coenzyme. But how does this molecular hydrogen works in our body? It goes through a very simple chemical reaction without increasing the burden of your body. How do we explain that? Basically, we have a lots of different kinds of oxidant, which is the free radical in our body. Some of them, they are useful. Some of them, we do not need them. So for those who we do not need them, basically they are the one that create most damages to our body. For example, the top of the list, hydroxyl free radical, OH. These are the strongest and most harmful free radical in our body. And the scientist has proven that this hydroxyl free radical actually it causes, for example, the severe diseases like cancer, okay, like stroke. Actually, basically, hydroxyl free radical, they take parts in that. And if you have the biggest valiant, you have the biggest savior. And who are the biggest savior here? The answer is molecular hydrogen. So hydrogen is the powerful natural reducing agent. It selectively neutralizes the harmful hydroxyl free radical, which means that you have the valence and you have the savior at the same time that it can help to neutralize the process. So basically, the chemical reactions is when hydroxyl free radical meets hydrogen, the chemical reaction just form that, neutralize it, and form into water, which is H2O. So with this outcome, it doesn't increase the burden of your body. So you see, when we talk about antioxidant, vitamin C, it's good. We need that. But there is always a limit dosage. So you cannot take how much dosage per day, because if you take too much, it creates the burden to your body. But in the case of hydrogen, no, we don't see this because the scientists have proven that with the hydrogen into your body, okay, so you will not have excessive burden or stress that hydrogen goes into your body for too much. That's very important. Okay, so that's why we call it a preferred antioxidant, because it helps us to neutralize the biggest valent in our body, and the chemical reaction just so simple. The way of it neutralize it is to create water. And when you have excessive water in your body, the only thing you can do is you go to wee. That's it. Okay, so well, let's look at the antioxidant value. The antioxidant value is like, if you're drinking 1.5 liters of hydrogen water, it almost equals to the numbers of fruits and vegetables that you can take per day. Okay, let's see the apple, banana, spinach, pumpkin, carrots. Let's imagine, if you want to get the same amount or equivalent amount of the antioxidant from what you get from 1.5 liters of hydrogen water, do you really want to take so much of fruits and vegetable? Okay, for example, banana. I believe that 1 or 2 banana can make you full, and you might lose your appetite after having 2 bananas. But can you get too much of the water if just 1.5? Because all of us, we need at least 2 liters to 3 liters of water per day. So actually what you do, you are replacing your drinking water with the better option, a healthier option. That's it. But at the same time, you are not just only enjoying the purest water, but at the same time, you are getting yourself hydrated with the powerful antioxidant, which is the molecular hydrogen. Okay, so the importance of drinking and inhaling hydrogen, basically, last month, actually we have shared about the inhalation, but some of you might have these doubts. Is like, should I drink or should I inhale? Actually, you can do both. Why? Because let's do a simple comparison. This comparison doesn't mean we're trying to emphasize which is better, because they work differently in our body. So let's look at the drinking. Primarily, it targets the gastrointestinal tracts, because when you drink the water goes into your stomach. And that's the first contact. Okay, that's the first contact station that your body actually interact with the hydrogen. So including the livers, and then it helps to improve the metabolism. And the hydrogen water, it can be bottled. It's convenient, so that when you are traveling, so you can just fill your bottles with the hydrogen water, and you can just bring it everywhere. And instantly ready from the hydromi. If you have a hydromi at home, you can enjoy the hydrogen water anytime, which just only take you less than actually 3 to 5 minutes is like if you are containing the big bottle. But if you are just getting a glasses, less than 30 seconds, you can have a full glass of hydrogen water. And it's suitable for the entire family, the household consumption. And most important is like you can also use it as a substitute for washing face, for washing your wounds, to gargle your mouth, because like it helps to antioxidant to neutralize the free radical that actually, okay, it happens in different parts of your body. Okay, one of the features, antioxidant, is anti-inflammation, anti-aging, and anti-allergic. So by using hydrogen, for example, washing your face, your wounds, your gargle, your mouth, actually it will help to reduce the inflammation that your body is happening. And what about inhalations? Inhalation actually it offers a rapid, it means a faster, okay, absorption of the hydrogen to the body and to the system. And you have a better systematic distribution, which means by inhaling, the hydrogen will go into your body more in different parts. Because like you inhaling oxygen. Oxygen will take around 7 seconds to travel around your body. Hydrogen do the same. So it can even reach to the brain through the blood-brain barrier. It's suitable to those acute conditions such as some people, they might have, stroke condition or their cerebral vascular issues and respiratory issues. Inhaling is always the best option for them. So you can see, basically drinking and inhaling are both important. Okay, and is by inhaling is also a rapid reduce of pro-inflammatory cytokine in the lungs, because when you inhale, the first station is your lung. From the lung, it goes to your entire body. And if you have an inhaler at home, you will know that beside from inhalations, beside from generating or producing hydrogen water, you can use it as a ice bar as well. So when we compare hydrogen in drinking and inhaling, both are important because it's never too much good antioxidant in your body, and it's never too late to have it as well. Okay, so according to the IHSA standard, okay, which is the standard from the scientists to set what is the criteria to make the water become a qualified hydrogen water. So this IHSA is not just a simple organization, but it's a group of scientists. They form this association and set up this standard, because without standard, you will never know. For example, if a water just contains 300 ppb, is that effective enough? Or can it be a qualified hydrogen water? So to standardize all this, actually we are taking a high standard from IHSA, so to make sure that all the hydrogen water we produce are always up to the standard. And let's see what is the criteria. The criteria is like the minimum effective concentration, the MEC, is it must be at least 0.5 ppm, or in another unit is like 500 ppb. ppm is parts per million. ppb is parts per billion. Okay, so 500 ppb equals to 0.5 ppm. Okay, and second thing, as we mentioned, the nanoplastic, microplastic, and all the contaminants, it should not be appears in the water. So no chemical reaction byproducts, or it must be produced from a pure RO water. This is very important because you can convert any water into hydrogen water, but not all hydrogen water are healthy hydrogen water. This is the idea that I will always like to emphasize, because if you are infusing the hydrogen, the pure hydrogen, into the pure RO water, which means that you're getting the purest water with the purest hydrogen, you are having the best drinking water in the world. Okay, and most important, the hydrogen must be molecular hydrogen. This is very important because molecular hydrogen is the hydrogen that will help our body to reduce the oxidative stress. Okay, and most important, that it should be immediately generated. Okay, it's not to store the hydrogen. Okay, and you know, like the hydrogen tank or the containers that store the hydrogen. No, if you have hydrogen, you understand that our hydrogen, it generates hydrogen freshly every single withdrawal of your hydrogen water. So this is to make sure that you always get the fresh and the concentration up to more than 500 ppb. This is the criteria that we should always focus on. And We have spoke about pure water. And if you can see that in our hydromi, actually we have built in with the microfiltration, and the most important is the RO, reverse osmosis membrane, the RO filtration, to make sure that there will be no heavy metal, no chemical, no drugs, no TDS, and then no turbidity. Of course, including there will be no viruses and bacteria, to make sure that every single glass of water that you are drinking from hydromi are pure. So this will make you avoid or away from the microplastic and the nanoplastic. Okay, so and with this, if you have the TDS meter, you can just test the water that you withdraw from hydromi. Definitely, you will get the reading of 0 or 1. Okay, and second, how we can generate fresh hydrogen. We're using the latest technology, the polymer electrolyte membrane, PM, or the proton exchange membrane is the same, okay? But what makes us so unique compared to the products in the market? Because with this PM electrolysis process, we are able to segregate hydrogen and oxygen clearly and separately without mixing them together, which is why we can produce up to 99.996%, which is almost the highest grade of the purity for the hydrogen, without mixing with other gases. So this is very important. Some people, they might have the water tumbler, but you can see that the water tumbler, there's a generator, but there's no PM units, or there's no PM membrane to segregate the hydrogen and oxygen. So which means there is a high chances of oxygen and hydrogen, they will mix together. And not just only that, the hydrogen and oxygen, they might have chances to mix with other gases as well. For example, nitrogen. For example, the other gases, which might cause the production of harmful gases when you're having the hydrogen water. But in hydromi, we can guarantee and make sure that the hydrogen water you are getting is up to 99.996% pure hydrogen with the pure water that you can get from hydromi. Okay? So, and not just that, we have a very strong backup for us, which is the Korea Institute of Science and Technology. This is the institute that we are working closely to make sure that all our products are in high quality and make sure that the production of hydrogen is always up to our standard. Okay, so these are the hydrogen tests. If like you try to use the tap water as a sample, so you might find that okay, the TDS is high, okay, but there will be no hydrogen concentration. But when you look at our hydromi, okay, the TDS is 0. There's 0 contamination, but at the same time, you have more than 1,100 ppb, which is almost double the standard of IHSA. This is very important. So we always have our scientists to back us up. So Mike Long, okay, this is Michael R. Long, the Master Water Specialist by Water Quality Association, the very reputable organization that actually they do the evaluation and science study research on drinking water. So Mike Long is the scientist that always back us up. Okay, so he's not just only the master water specialist, he's also a certified hydrogen advisor, and he also founding the pioneer supporter to the hydrogen, how this hydrogen can work to our body. So his suggestion is getting the purest water with the purest hydrogen. This is the right choice for you to truly, when you precious, when you value your drinking water or the best water to your family and your friends as well. Okay, so for hydromi, this is the first hydrogen RO water purification system beyond H2O, because we are not just only producing RO water, which is the cleanest water without any contaminants, but at the same time, we infuse the pure hydrogen. So with this water purifier at home, definitely you are giving yourself the best gift, because our hydromi has awarded for many, many recognitions. Okay. So of course, it's like if you want to know more about this hydrogen as well as the microplastic, nanoplastic, that how it can damage our body, definitely you can watch the videos that our ELKEN Nigeria has been shared in their social medias, that all these videos will definitely give you a better explanation about why microplastic and nanoplastic is dangerous and why we need RO water and why hydrogen water from Hydromi. That's very important. Okay. So basically, right now, throughout the session, what we're trying to highlight is first thing, drinking water is important. Water is life, no doubts. But how do you choose the best water for you? The normal drinking water you see through it is clear, but does it really safe? This is a big question mark because when you never see it, it doesn't mean it's not there. So microplastic and nanoplastic is way too small in their particle or their molecule so that you cannot see it in the flash eye. But the thing is, it's silently entering your system and bringing damages that you never realize that how much damages actually it brings to your body. Okay, so here, as the major sharing about the knowledge of hydrogen, okay, so these are the major content. But at the same time, I also would like to emphasize that, right now we have a campaign where actually it's like will give you a chance that ELKEN is bringing you to Malaysia. Okay, by achieving these rewards, basically, what you need to do, definitely, I believe that Onoha has details to share with you. How many units of inhaler, how many of Hydromi that you need to, okay, share and get into the sales so to make yourself qualified on it. And definitely, by doing it, you want to share the proper knowledge, the right knowledge to others. You yourself first need to equip with all the right information. And that's why we are having this session to you to share about how hydrogen, and why Hydromi. Okay, so you have seen that microplastic basically is not about the sediment, for example, the mud, the sand. They might be in the water, but they are harmless. But most important is the plastic. How this plastic truly bringing the damages to our body. Okay, so let's get rid of this, the 2,400 Boeing every day, away from our life, away from our food chain to make sure that we are living healthily. And in Alkans, we always share health and wealth. Okay, so Unaha, let me pass back to you. And that's all for my sharing for today. And hopefully, this session is going to be a benefiting one. And every one of us can truly learn about what is hydrogen and why we need to choose the right water for our life. And definitely, with all this strong, basic, and solid evidence, you will see how people will be convinced by that. Because if a person truly value and precious their life, they will not, okay, reject you because you are offering the best option of the water to them to change their life. Okay, so once again, thank you everyone for being together with me. Okay, right today in this session that we are learning what is hydrogen infused RO water, and most important thing that we share, we care. Build you to build others. Thank you so much.